Hello friends, welcome to the class. I am N.K. Thukral from Edupedia World. In the previous session, I had started on formation of a company, how a company is formed, what is the process in that case, and I may repeat again that there are 4 stages in case of formation of a company. Number 1 is promotion. Number 2 is incorporation. Number 3 is subscription of capital. And 4th is commencement of business. And first stage I had already discussed with you, that is on promotion of a company. Also, I discussed the legal position of a promoter, which is very important, functions of a promoter, and briefing about important documents like memorandum of association and articles of association. Now today I will discuss on second stage, that is incorporation of a company. How a company is incorporated. First of all, let me tell you that what is incorporation of a company. Incorporation means registration of the company under the Companies Act 2013. This is the second stage in the formation of a company. After the registrar approves the name, the promoter can proceed with the following steps for incorporation of a company. Let's see in the slide. Number 1 is filing of documents. Number 2 is payment of fees. And number 3 is certificate of incorporation. In case of filing of documents, promoters makes an application to the registrar for the incorporation of a company. The application must be accompanied with the following documents, and these are the very important documents, mind it. Memorandum of association, which should be duly stamped, signed and witnessed. It must contain all the information, for example address, occupation and number of shares subscribed by the signatories. Second document is articles of association or statement in lieu of the prospectus. As earlier I said in the prior session, the statement in lieu of the prospectus in case of table F is adopted by public limited company. Third document is written consent of the proposed directors to act as directors. Who are the persons who will act as directors in the company? Their written consent. Fourth is agreement. What type of agreement? I mean to say agreement with the proposed managing director and or whole-time director or manager. Whatever their salary, their terms, conditions, etc., all is in the agreement. Next is copy of the registrar's letter approving the company's name. Although it is a duty of promoter to bring forth the names of the company, but once registrar approves the name, that copy of the letter needs to be enclosed. Next is statutory declaration affirming that all legal requirements for registration have been complied with. And last is notice of the exact address of the registered office. However, it may also be submitted within 30 days of the receipt of the certificate of incorporation. That option is with the company. So these are all documents need to be filed. Second stage is payment of fees. Along with the above documents, necessary filing fees and registration fees at the prescribed rates are also to be paid. Whatever the fees prescribed, it may be modified after 1 year or 2 years, whatever the prescribed rate is there, that needs to be paid. Third is certificate of incorporation. Here the registrar scrutinizes all the documents, and if he is satisfied about the completion of formalities for registration, he issues a certificate of incorporation. So the moment the certificate is issued, the company comes into existence. This certificate signifies, what is the importance of this certificate? That the birth of the company and is also termed with as birth certificate of the company. So this is the on incorporation of a company. Now students, let me tell you that what is the importance of incorporation? What is the importance of certificate of incorporation? Let us discuss on it. I mean to say, importance means what are the effects of certificate of incorporation. A company is legally born on the date printed on the certificate of incorporation. It is very important because company gets the status of separate legal entity with perpetual succession. 2 points are very important in this: separate legal entity and with perpetual succession. Another important point is that a company becomes entitled to enter into valid contracts. And next is, certificate is a conclusive evidence of the regularity of incorporation of a company. For example, issue of certificate will make the incorporation valid even if a person has forged a signature on the memorandum of the company is registered with the illegal objects. So, certificate of incorporation is very crucial and the registrar should be very careful before issuing it. Further, I may tell you students that a private company can immediately commence its business after obtaining certificate of incorporation. However, a public company has to undergo 2 more stages, that is capital subscription and second is commencement of business. And what about the provisional contracts? Let me tell you that there are contracts which are signed after incorporation but before the commencement of business. There can be such type of contracts. So such contracts become enforceable only after the company gets the certificate of commencement of business. So unless certificate of commencement business exists, the contracts shall not be enforceable. This is the importance of provisional contracts. Now let's go ahead, students. As just now we had discussed on the second stage, incorporation of a company. Now next stage is raising of capital. As you can see in the slide, raising of capital. What is this? You can call it a capital subscription. After the company is incorporated, the next stage for the public company is to raise the necessary capital. In order to raise funds, a public company can issue shares and debentures to the public. You must have heard name IPO, initial public offer. So first, initially, when the funds are raised, that is called IPO. So for this, it has to issue a prospectus. Now, what are the steps required for raising funds from the public? What are the requirements as per the guidelines under the Companies Act? Number 1 is SEBI approval. What is SEBI? Securities and Exchange Board of India. That approval is must. SEBI is the regulatory authority in the securities market to protect the interest of investors. If the company proposes to raise capital from public by issue of shares or debentures, then a draft prospectus has to be submitted to SEBI for its verification or scrutiny to ensure that disclosures made therein are adequate for protection of interest of the investors. So prior approval for SEBI is compulsory before going ahead for raising the funds. Second is filing of prospectus or statement in lieu of prospectus. Prospectus is a document inviting deposits or offers from the public for the subscription or purchase of shares or debentures of the company. And a statement in lieu of prospectus is prepared when public company is confident of raising funds from private sources. So these two are different documents. A copy of prospectus or statement in lieu of prospectus is to be filed with the registrar. Third is appointment of bankers or underwriters. Raising funds from the public is complex task. In order to ease the process, experts in different fields are appointed, that is bankers, a broker or underwriters. Bankers receive and deposit the application money. Broker distribute the application forms and encourage the public to subscribe to the shares. and underwriters are appointed if the company is not sure of receiving minimum subscription of shares by the public. So, underwriters undertake to buy the shares if these are not subscribed by the public. They receive a commission for the same. Appointment of underwriters depends upon the discretion of the company. Next is minimum subscription. What is this minimum subscription? Students, before commencing the business, every public limited company must raise subscription in order to avoid shortage of funds. It refers to minimum number of shares that must be subscribed by the investors before a company proceeds with the allotment of shares. If minimum number of shares could not be subscribed, the company cannot proceed for the allotment of shares. So, according to Section 39(1) of Companies Act 2013, minimum subscription is the amount stated in the prospectus as the minimum amount to be subscribed and paid by check or other instrument. So, this is what minimum subscription is, and is a very important point. Next is application to stock exchange. A public company must get itself listed or quoted in a stock exchange before it starts selling the securities to the public. For this, the company has to make an application in at least one stock exchange to get the permission. If the company does not get permission within 10 weeks from the date of closure of the subscription list, then the allotment will become void and all money received from the applicant will have to be returned within 80 days. So these things are very important, students. You must remember this. What is the minimum period for the permission and how the money is to be returned, and what is the period of that. Next is allotment of shares. After getting the name listed in the stock exchange, the company makes allotment of shares as per guidelines of SEBI. Allotment letters are issued to the successful allottees. The company returns the application money to the applicant to whom no shares could be allotted. In case of partial allotment, excess application money need to be returned or adjusted towards allotment money. This is the process of allotment of shares. Now students, what is the next stage and final stage? That is commencement of business. This needs to be obtained from registrar of companies. And for this, what is the process? After receiving the minimum subscription through new issue of shares, a public company makes an application to the registrar for issue of certificate of commencement of business. Along with the application, the following documents must be filed. Number 1 is declaration that the shares have been allotted up to the amount of the minimum subscription. Number 2 is a declaration that every director has paid in cash the application and allotment money on his shares. Third, a declaration that no money is liable to become refundable to the applicants by reason of failure to obtain permission for shares to be traded in a recognized stock exchange. And fourth is a statutory declaration by a director or secretary of the company stating that the requirements relating to the commencement of business have been duly complied with. So all these 4 type of declaration or document need to be submitted for getting commencement of business certificate. The registrar will scrutinize all these documents, and if he is satisfied, then he issues a certificate of commencement of business. The sample you can see in the slide. What is written there? That I hereby certify that so and so limited, of which incorporated under the Companies Act 1956. Now it is replaced with 2013. So, and in the certificate of business, it is mentioned that all the documents filed a statutory declaration in the prescribed form, and that the condition of section 149 have been complied with, and company is entitled to commence business. And you can see in the slide that seal is there, registrar need to sign, and on the right side, name of the joint stock companies. So this is what all in case of commencement of business. So this is all for today. Thank you students. Bye bye.